I saved enough for burgers, you thought they tasted the same. Welcome to Legends of Gotham, where we talk about Fox's hit series Gotham, set in the world of Batman. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And we're back after a brief hiatus.
Very brief.
And a very...
So brief, if you blinked, you missed it.
And a very spirited conversation on Batman v Superman, which we do have a lot of your thoughts on coming up in the feedback section.
Very true.
But Emery, how you doing? How you?
Well, how you doing?
How are you doing tonight?
I think I might be better than you at the moment.
Oh, I'm fine.
You're good.
I'm fine.
I'm just fine. I'm fine. Better have the cherries.
You know who else is fine? Our chat room over at live.universebox.com, where you can come and join us live while we record the episode every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. EST. Again, that's at live.universebox.com. We have, let's see, who do we have over there? We have Andy and Jimbo and Penguin Girl and TKD Kid.
And Win!
I'm guessing that means the night dark.
And Penguin snapped?
Penguin
snapped.
They're
just like popping in.
Yeah,
we
have a whole crew tonight. Welcome, guys. I guess, they're here for one reason only, Anne-Marie.
They are.
They want us to talk about Gotham.
What?
This fantastic episode of Gotham that just happened. No, spoilers. We loved it.
Yeah, spoilers. We liked it.
But Anne-Marie, why don't you go ahead and get us started with the rhyming, riddling episode summary.
Which succulent roast is most overcooked? The source of the meat has been overlooked. Can Jimmy Gordon reclaim his good name? He's solving a riddle and playing Ed's game. Does Bruce like burgers when he has cash? Will Cat allow him to cast off their stash? Who is the spinner of these heinous falsehoods? To find out, Jim travels into the woods.
Into the woods.
Into the woods.
Into the woods. Into the woods. To Kringle's grave and home before Barnes.
Dark. Oh!
Boom! Did it. Anne-Marie, what'd you think?
I loved it.
You loved it?
Finally, Penguin is back.
Mm-hmm.
That's really that. The Penguin is back. The Riddler has emerged and been sequestered, but he's emerged. I'm so excited.
You could say the wrath of the villains is emerging almost.
The wrath of the villains.
It's showing itself. Very good episode, though, overall. Very, very, very good episode. Very eventful episode.
Yay.
Lots of stuff to talk about. But I guess to start off with,
yes,
we should talk about the Penguin's cooking lesson.
Oh yeah.
He has a cooking show now. He has a cooking YouTube channel where he cooks bastards. I titled my first point Titus Van Dahlicus, which, if you didn't know, this is a reference, and I believe the scene in the show was a reference to this too, to the Shakespearean tragedy Titus Andronicus. Now, if you don't know the story, a lot of stuff happens.
Stuff happens?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, but a lot of stuff happens. But the basic, the most shocking thing, the most memorable thing for me, and also the basis of one of my favorite South Park episodes, Scott Tenorman Must Die, I believe it's called.
I'm sorry, there should never be a favorite South Park episode.
But basically what happens is this woman whose name is Tamara, she's the queen of the Goths. She tries to trick the title character, Titus Andronicus, by convincing him to hold a feast for the emperor so he can get his revenge. Sensing foul play, Titus bakes her two sons into a meat pie and feeds them to her before killing her. He lets her know, though, obviously. So, yeah, obviously a lot of really big parallels between that and this. There's a whole vengeance thing and everything. I really, what was your reaction, Anne-Marie, when you found out that, the roast was more of a Van Dahl roast than a, bison or something like that?
I was actually mad that I didn't figure it out before he said it. Though I definitely should have on the second watch. I was like, I should have got it from that. I should have figured that out. No, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was the perfect way for the Penguin to reemerge as the Penguin.
Yes.
And that
definitely.
it was beautiful.
Couple things over from the chat room. Penguin Girl says, no, I giggled when he did. That's probably wrong, but I don't care.
Nice.
And Jimbo says he's glad the penguin snapped out of it. And Wynn says Oswald followed his mom's footsteps, cooking for the Van Dolls, but he did it better. Smiley face. And Penguin Girl follows up with feeding the kids to their mom was maniacal and awesome.
Yes.
Very much agreed, Penguin Girl.
You could tell she kind of knew before he told her to.
Like she was getting suspicious.
When she was getting very suspicious, mostly when I believe something about his whore mom's succotash or whatever it was.
Yeah, slut mom's goulash.
Whatever.
Pretty close.
Sorry.
Okay, that was it. Okay.
That was all I got.
No, but I thought it was really interesting because, they really kind of baked their own buns here in this case. Because, Penguin would have been happy to be their servant in perpetuity, forever. But they just kept pushing him and, like throwing stuff at him and kind of stomping on him. I think they were trying to force him into quitting or, just walking out so they could... They were keeping him close so he would walk away on his own so he didn't ask too many questions.
Yeah.
But, and another really stupid thing is why did Grace and, the other Van Dolls, why did they keep the decanter with the poison around? Like with just a little splash of poison.
That wasn't even like a little splash. Like that was a good amount. And I thought it was really strange because last episode, Grace, really gestures to like spill it. So that it's gone, but then she keeps it, and there was still like a significant amount left. I don't understand.
I mean, obviously, I'm glad they kept it around because otherwise, Penguin might not have broken free that quickly. I mean,
Right.
he would have only been able to take so much anyway.
Yeah.
But by the way, Rip Dog.
Oh, the poor puppy. That made me sad.
But she's saying that Grace says when Penguin's serving her children to her that she notices something different about Penguin. I know it's the attitude, but was he wearing one of his dad's suits?
No, he was wearing the one that his dad was making for him.
Aha. Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
It was the one that his dad was making for him.
Which was very nice. Very nice.
It was beautiful. It was a power suit.
I do kind of wonder, though, is he going to inherit the Vandal Empire now? Or basically, is he going to become like a squatter in this house since there's no one there to take it from him or call him on it?
I mean, no one's going to call him on it, but he automatically through that inherit the Empire? Mm-hmm. But is he going to take over running it? I mean, he's not going to...
I would assume, I guess it just depends on, if someone steps in to like manage the estate or something, and because I mean Vandal
he wasn't written in anything.
Yeah, he never got the information over to his lawyer that he had this son and everything.
Right.
So I mean there could be like a big protracted like law suit battle thing, but I don't think that'll make for good television or good Gotham.
Well, it won't happen in Gotham. Like Penguin will take care of that. Mm-hmm. No, I think just like Grace was scared because of the blood link. Yeah. Like all he has to go is I'm his child. Like that automatically there's no one else to inherit it. He'll get it.
Very true.
So all he has to do is dig up his dad, and you know what? I think if it came down to it, he would with his bare hands.
Definitely. Now, over in the chat room, there's a lot of speculation. Someone brought up the question, I wonder if Gotham will get canceled. I'm pretty sure, well, season 3 is already a guarantee, a lock. And I've also heard some of the creators say that if they get to season 3, they're most likely getting to season 4 and 5. So I don't think Gotham is in...
I don't think Gotham's going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance of cancellation anytime in the near future.
Nope.
So yay, Gotham.
Yay, Gotham.
Okay, Anne-Marie, you wanted to touch a little bit on the Penguin too, right?
I did. Okay, so the return of the Penguin. I just enjoy the progression through this episode. In the beginning, he's so grief-stricken and willing to do anything for them, even becoming the manservant. And he is still behaving from Hugo's treatments, no matter what they do to him, like getting rid of the lilies. Like that's a pressure point, and he willingly did it. In the middle of the episode, You can see him sort of wanting to shift, giving a slanty eye and through a cackle. Ha, that was fun now. Like when the kids are throwing the food at him, he's trying. You can see him trying to stick to the treatment and training, but he's doing a lot of Then I just love that last third. It's like, welcome back, Pangy Pants. Because it was the discovery of the poison. It was realizing that his dad didn't just die. He was murdered. And probably also the fact that that was meant for him. Like he had to realize that because she points out that that his father wasn't supposed to drink alcohol. Yeah. So there's that. And I just love that the second he realizes that he's been wronged so purposefully, bloop, the switch, and then bop, 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 everything goes down.
The only thing I disliked about the reveal, I mean, I love the reveal that you find out as Grace finds out that, you know, what Penguin did. I wish we had gotten to see the scene where he took them out. Yeah. Like, that would have been nice. That would have been very nice. Okay, did you have anything else to talk about with Penguin?
No, I put my notes in before you, and yours were better than mine. Okay, so continue.
Okay. No, but it really good, really dark. Like I'm so glad too that I'm so glad that they managed to bringing Penguin back. They managed to make him do something that was just way more shocking than anything we've ever seen the Penguin do, and that was his return to form. You know, that's the return to form he deserved, to constantly one up just like that disturbing situation. So very good stuff. Okay, next topic of discussion about Gotham.
Why we're all here.
The Riddler rises.
Riddler!
We finally, we've got to see Ed kind of, take baby steps into his villainous side over the course of several episodes, not seasons, but a couple seasons, but several episodes. But we finally get to see him standing fully revealed, here in this episode. And like I predicted a few weeks back, Ed's hubris was his downfall.
Yep.
The fact that, he was so confident in himself and so confident that Jim was on to him is what eventually exposed him. He totally gave himself away with Jim and revealed it once the secret was out.
Through riddles.
Yes. And he reveled in it, is what I meant to say, is that once that information was out there and Jim knew what his deal was, he was just so happy about it. And he was just so happy to kind of slip into that role and everything.
He was happy not to have to put on the act anymore. That's what it was. He didn't have to pretend to be good Enigma. He could just lean on into Psycho Enigma. So
definitely. And TKD Kid says Enigma finally evolved. Yes, he did. He took another step in his evolution, at least. Something else I really loved about it is that once Jim knew Ed was a bit nutty, like once he got the sense of that, everything else fell into place for him. Kringle, the friendship with Penguin, everything. Like he completely, in the scene in the Wayne kitchen, he completely puts it all together as it happened, and he just needed that. He didn't have the imagination to believe Ed could do that, but once that information was given to him and it was a certainty, he was able to put it all together like right away, which was just fun, really fun to see. Now, a question I was wondering, do you think that Penguin would have given Ed up if Jim had gone to him? Like the fake story they created basically said the way they got Ed out to the woods was by saying that, Jim was looking for Penguin so he could find out where Kringle was buried.
Right.
Now, do you think that if Jim had actually found Penguin and went to Penguin, he would have given him up?
Not necessarily. But I think it depends on where in the episode he found him. If he found him in the first half of the episode, he may have given him up. He may have, because of the training and all of the stress that Strange had put on Penguin's brain for everything to be happy and flowers. But if it had been that second half, I'm pretty sure Penguin would be coming at him with a knife.
Yeah, like
and having him join the table.
yeah, I'm of the same opinion. I doubt that Penguin would have done anything to help Jim because Jim left him to rot in Arkham when he was like pleading with him, "Come on, Jim, help me out here," and he was just like, "No, you got to serve your time."
Yeah,
and so I doubt as we move forward in the season that we're going to see that kind of a uneasy friendship between Penguin and Jim continue anymore. Like
I
think
don't think
be
there's any way.
Yeah, they're going to be firmly on opposite sides.
Right, and especially I think we're going to get an even darker Penguin, which I didn't realize was going to be possible because he was pretty dark to begin with pre-treatment. But I think he's literally the last shred of any hope of redemption.
Yeah.
I hate using that here, but goodness or whatever, it's gone. It's squashed. It's on the table.
He has no reason to be good now and every reason to be bad.
Yeah.
Over in the chat room, Wynn says she found it hilarious how all the policemen hid so effectively behind random trees in the woods.
Yeah.
And then Penguin Snap says Harvey used his connection to get the tape with the Call of the Cuckoo on it, and Bobby agrees. Yeah, Bullock was great in this episode.
Bullock was fantastic.
He definitely took one for the team on that one.
Oh, he enjoyed it.
Although something I thought was interesting with that was that Bullock, was confirmed that his girlfriend that he had at the beginning of the season had broken up with him.
Wife.
Or soon-to-be wife, fiance, right. I think. Yeah, but I don't think we got that confirmed on screen.
No, and I'm pretty sure that's why we got it.
It was implied when he went back to the Force.
Right, it was implied, but yeah.
But, just to wrap up on Ed, or my thoughts on Ed anyway, as always, Ed is the perfect combination of Norman Bates and Jerry Lewis. I said this on Twitter last night, too. The mirror scene was more disturbing than ever. And then we get this scene in the woods when he gets found out and he does this comedic, like, pratfall, run away, all lanky and everything.
Yeah.
I just
how could he not be lanky?
Yeah, I just love that juxtaposition, though.
Yeah.
I hope Ed has more to do this season. Like, I hope they're not going to just put him in Arkham or whatever. Or I forget, was he in Arkham or prison?
He's in Arkham. I have something on that soon.
But I don't know if they'll keep him in Arkham this season, but I hope not. I just want to see what he'll do now that he has nothing to hide, nothing to lose. He's as desperate and willing to do great things, even evilly great things, as Penguin is. So it'll be really interesting to see.
Well, never mind. I'll touch on that in a minute. So I'll save my point.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
My next point, though, however, the computer! Yay!
They touched back on the computer.
The computer is finally back in effect.
No Lucius Fox, but the computer.
No Lucius Fox. Isn't he a series regular?
He is. He'll be back.
He's been in 2 episodes, maybe 3.
He'll be back.
They really need to stop doing that. Okay, so Lucius Fox fixed this computer ages ago in Gotham time. Like, this was fixed what it felt like at least a few weeks before the Matches Malone thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's been fixed the whole time that Bruce has been living with Selena, which has to be months upon months upon months, based on the last episode where we got that whole thing with Jim, in jail and
because he fixed the computer at the end of season 2A.
Okay.
When Bruce got abducted by Gallivant.
Well, why was he waiting? Oh, that's right, because he came out and was like, guys.
Well, maybe he didn't have it all the way fixed. Maybe he was just like, oh, I got a transistor transisting or something like that.
I guess. But it just...
Jimbo in the chat, by the way, says Lucius Fox will be in next week.
Yay!
Good to know.
I love him. He makes me happy.
Wynn says also, Bruce chooses computer in dark basement over real life hot girl. Nerd!
Complete nerd. No, let's see. Why didn't Alfred mention anything about the computer before the Matches Malone search? Which is very true, but maybe he just didn't want to derail. And
maybe it wasn't completely functional at that point.
Yeah, I guess.
And this is the first time he's really seen Bruce since that.
Very much so, as is pointed out. But I am glad that Bruce chooses Selena's safety over letting her into the cave and the bat life. I have a little bit more on that later.
So do I, actually. So,
do you? Yeah. Yay! We're so fun.
Synchrocinous.
Something like that.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, I can't wait to see what's on that computer because that was a pretty hardcore system for be in any cave.
Yeah, but
it's a bat
at the
cave.
same time, very retro.
The technology in this episode was killing me.
The tape.
The literal tape.
Yeah, the literal reel-to-reel tape.
The real tape. And the fact that everybody's just like, I got a thing. I'm like, what? It's just...
That was one thing that kind of bothered me, but I mean, I guess with the technological kind of question mark that hangs over the whole series, I heard that recording and I was like, oh, I would just throw that into like Audacity or Adobe Audition and just speed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like it's sped down maybe like 60% or something.
No, it sounded like he had
Or like
he had a thing from the screen.
Well, the pitch was lowered. The pitch was lowered. And the pitch was lowered. It was a little slowed down. But then again, they only have computers with information that leads to the Wayne murder.
Yeah.
On it. So, okay, we're going to be back to talk more about this fantastic episode of Gotham in just a few minutes. I don't see anything too prescient from the chat room. We'll get back to you guys.
To that. Promise.
But first of all, we want to tell you about Patreon. Anne-Marie, why don't you tell them?
Hi guys, we have this thing. It's called a Patreon. It's a great way for you guys to make a monthly donation to help support all of our podcasts, Legends of Gotham, Greetings from Storybrooke, and what else We're So Lost. That would make sense because I'm so lost. As well as a little kickback to Crunchy, Crafty, and Highly Caffeinated, which has been rejuvenated lately. Mm-hmm. But it's just a monthly donation starting at 10 cents, so really pocket change. And you'll get all sorts of free things, like you'll get all of Bill's books in digital format. Depending on what you donate, you'll get a handwritten letter. We'll sing you a song. We'll do a podcast just for you. You'll get all sorts of stuff in advance, like our We're So Lost episodes. Mm-hmm. You'll get the audio version months before it actually comes out on iTunes.
Well,
patron hangout.
Yeah, we also do a monthly patron hangout where you can hop in a Google Hangout with us and just chat with us. So we did one last week.
Monday.
Last Monday.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun. And I also kind of introduced the concept of my pilot script, Infinite Tina, which, by the way, if you want a copy to be a beta reader, just email me, bill@universebox.com, and I'll send that over to you. It's basically Quantum Leap in the multiverse.
Yep, it's good.
But yeah, those also, we don't really mention this too much, but we post those patron hangouts as podcast episodes on the old Universe Box feed. So if you just want to search iTunes for Universe Box, you'll find it, and it's just a big UB like you see here on the screen. But we currently have 28 patrons giving us $124 a month. Woo-hoo! I was about to say 124,000, but that's way off.
That would be lovely.
Yes,
Thank
but
you.
No, Anne-Marie, you're wrong. That would be terrible. $124 a month is just fine for 28 patrons.
For 28 patrons.
Now, if we get 29 patrons, 124,000. You got to be one of the cool kids. Patreon.com/universebox. We love each and every one of you.
And VV LOLs at us singing a song. You must not have been around very long because we sing.
Yeah. Into the woods.
Into the woods.
Into the woods.
The night of the woods. Sorry.
Ballroom Blitz. Dun, 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 dun. Ballroom Blitz. Which reminds me, now it is time. Hold on.
Wait for it. Still waiting.
What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for?
1, 2, 3. Look at this Joker.
Look at this Joker.
We look at this Joker.
Everybody look at this Joker while you wait for the page to load.
Look at this Joker. The page won't load. Look at this Joker.
I should have had this preloaded. Look at this Joker. Yes, it's time for Look at This Joker, where we look at all the hints, previews, clips, references,
anything about the
love
Joker.
letters to the Joker in Gotham. And we've been doing this since season 1, episode 1, with that comedian dude, whatever became of him, who knows. Here's the guy we thought was the Wayne murderer. I guess not, huh? And we keep on going down the list and keep on going. There's so many episodes at this point, so many potential Jokers, including Jerome. But we do have one little Joker reference this week, and that is Bruce on the roof.
Make it rain.
Making it rain. Throwing out the money. Hubba, hubba, honey, hubba, money, money, money. Who do you trust? Young Bruce Wayne throwing money off the roof puts me in mind of the Clown Prince of Crime's gesture in the climactic parade scene in 1989's film, Batman.
Oh, that's the one we did with Jared Joseph.
Exactly. We reviewed with Jared Joseph from the 100.
Yes.
But, Jack Nicholson's Joker is throwing money out into the crowd to distract them while he kind of lets the Joker gas fly. It's a great scene. This put me in mind of it. We have a link to it on the Look at This Joker page at legendsofgotham.com. Just click on Look at This Joker right at the top if you want to see this scene. It's a great scene.
Great scene.
Super great scene. But we do have another Joker-related thing to talk about.
We do, and I'm not going to lie. This one excites me way more than Bruce throwing money off the roof.
You don't like money?
I mean, I like money. He can toss some money at me. But I don't think David is tossing money at me.
Yes, but if you guys didn't know, this week, the new Suicide Squaler...
Squaler?
The Suicide Squaler. The Suicide Squad trailer dropped. And it features the Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yes.
The one thing that's really interesting about this to me is that it mentions that, what if Superman was to rip the roof off the White House?
Yep.
And we need someone to stop him, which is great because I love that they're referencing the events of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. And I also love that they're referencing that the government will take tragedies and use them to build legislation and do really foolish things with it. But, it's a lot of the same kind of stuff we've seen before. But there's a lot more of the Joker in this one. And more importantly, maybe to this podcast, a lot more of the Batman. And a lot more of Harley Quinn's skin.
I was going to say, you looked right up and there was half-naked Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But,
does happen.
Yeah, a lot more Batman in this than I saw. Again, it does seem kind of almost like it's all from the same scene, like the same sequence, which we have seen behind the scenes pictures.
Yes.
Of the Bat scene.
Yeah, but you know what? I think even getting Batfleck in 1 or 2 scenes is worth it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if because the rumor is that there's reshoots and the director, David Ayer, came out on Twitter and said that those reshoots are mainly for action sequences. So I wouldn't be surprised if they might not be putting some Batfleck into the tail end of this there
You know what? That would actually that would make sense because they filmed all of this before Batman v Superman came out, and there was such a warm reception for Batfleck. So.
And there's a lot more of Jared Leto's Joker again. A lot more fun scenes with him. Like there's one where his face is half burned and everything that I just love. And again, and we mentioned this in our big special about the DC Universe Cinematic Universe special that CW did. But I just love that it looks like they have nods to many eras of the Joker in this, from Alex Ross's to kind of the more Grant Morrison sort of David Bowie-esque Joker.
Yes.
And it just looks so good and so funny and so awesome. I love the bar scene at the end, too.
I do. I also thoroughly enjoy that no matter what movie Will Smith is in, his character is Will Smith.
Yeah,
he's like,
definitely.
Yo, dude, we good? We good, right? Yeah.
Welcome to Earth. Welcome to Earth. This is the Suicide Squad. I know, but it all looks really good. And any reaction from the chat room on this?
It's looking positive. People they're excited about it.
VV says Suicide Squad is looking good. I think the critics will like this one. TKD said, I'm glad Batman is in the movie, somewhat. And I guess they're talking about the Assault on Arkham Suicide Squad animated movie they did, which a lot of people are saying that it looks like some of this stuff is going to be the same. Or it's going to have a similar feel to it, some similar story beats. Maybe that's something that would be good for us to look at over the summer.
Wait, you're going to make me read a comic book?
No, it's a movie.
Oh, okay.
An animated movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're also talking about, we should mention that the Killing Joke, the animated Killing Joke, they released some footage for a couple weeks ago, too. Looks great. I think we'll definitely be addressing that one on the show.
Good to know.
Over the summer, too. I think it's coming out over the summer. I don't know.
All I know is August 5th is when Suicide Squad comes out.
Yeah, and that's all you really care about.
That's all I care about.
Nice.
Yay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into our Gotham discussion here.
Gotham what?
Gotham what?
Gotham!
Look at this Joker! Okay.
Wow, that was pretty.
Thank you. Back to Gotham. We get presented at the end of this episode with what might be, if you know nothing about the comics, Jim's last case. Barnes is trying to. Well, first of all, Barnes kind of just breezes over everything that he thought it was happening with Gallivan and Jim once he finds out that Ed framed Jim. Like, I thought he gave up a little too easily on that, considering he had suspicions before Ed said anything.
Yep.
But anyway, at the end of the episode, Barnes is trying to get Jim to come back on the force, and he's like, I'll come back for one last case. And that's basically to solve the Wayne murders. Not really, because we're assuming that Matches Malone is the guy who pulled the trigger.
Right.
But he wants to find out the guy behind the guy. He wants to find out who hired him.
Who paid for it.
Yeah. Now, I hope him and Bruce come together on this investigation, because they're both, in that ending montage, it's very obvious they're both
working towards
the same goal. But based on something I want to talk about a little bit later, I don't think Bruce is going to work with them.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that later.
There's a lot of that tonight.
Definitely.
A lot of coming soon.
But I thought there was a nice bit of synchronicity to having Jim's police career end on the same case it began with. Now, of course, we know Jim has a bright future on the GCPD ahead of him. But maybe for season 3, maybe Jim will just be a vigilante. Ooh. That could be fun. What if Jim Gordon becomes a masked vigilante for a season or a half season or a couple episodes even?
He gives it a shot.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. And it does seem, it would seem kind of fitting to end this season on him, finding out who paid for the Waynes to die, and then going off the grid and becoming a vigilante of sorts, maybe with Harvey Bullock as his Alfred or something.
Alfred?
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of like how they operated in this episode.
Yeah, a little bit.
But, that would be a lot of fun. But I was wondering, do you think that Loeb has anything to do with the Wayne murder? Because he got a lot of name drops in this episode.
He did.
It's almost like they're trying to remind us that he's out there and he exists, and he doesn't like Jim very much.
I don't think he had anything to do with the Waynes. I don't think he had anything to do with the Waynes. I think he may have had something to do with the prosecution and treatment of Jim Gordon, but I don't think he really had anything to do with the Wayne murder.
That's fair. Like,
no,
I just
that's
I just feel like we're gonna see him somewhere.
Oh,
along
he's
the
coming
way.
back. Like little dude's coming back.
Yeah, over in the chat room, Penguin Snap said, could it be one of the people on the Court of Owls? I definitely think Court of Owls will probably be involved, since they've said they're doing it on Gotham. Bobby says, I didn't take it as Gordon saying on last case. I thought he said he had to find the killers before he could return to the force.
That's what I heard too.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I had heard that he was like, this is what I have to do before I can move on and go get Lee. And I kind of heard it as he was moving on from the force.
No, before he would come back to the force, he had to solve this case.
Well, wouldn't it be easier to solve the case on the force though?
No, because then he has to do other stuff too.
Well, that's fair. Like maybe I misheard. But
Who knows?
I if nothing else, point still stands. I do like that they're looping back around to it.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we had heard a lot of complaints about from people in season 1, was that why is Jim not looking for the Wayne murders? And Bruce even calls him on it in an episode. So I'm glad
you're relieved, sir.
I'm glad that's becoming the focus again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, but, after how that all went down.
You wanted to talk a little bit about Mr. Strange, though. Doctor Strange.
No, not Doctor Strange.
No, not Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, not Cumberbatch.
No, Hugo Strange, played by B.D. Wong.
I always have to make sure I type Hugo Strange so as to not confuse the two. Okay, so how is Hugo Strange letting out all the big name criminals? It's not like he's letting out Joe Schmo, the crazy guy down the street. He's letting out the Penguin and Stabby Babs. Like, these had, like, their arrests and everything had so much publicity.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. Sorry, my mic is attacking me. That it just seems a little weird that he could just release them. Because, yes, they're in Arkham for being quote-unquote insane, but they're still criminals. If they are now sane, they should be moved to Blackgate.
Yeah.
And be put in a normal prison or wherever
Barbara
would go.
Yeah, who gave Hugo Strange the authority to just let people
Exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Let these people go.
Let these people go.
Although I do definitely think that if Ed gets out, it's going to be because of Hugo Strange.
Oh, absolutely. Or maybe Ed will let all the crazy people out from downstairs.
That could be fun too.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I hadn't
definitely.
even thought about that. Let's see. Heck, both Penguin and Babs are scared to be released. That's true because Babs is like, "What if I?" And he's like, "We're always here for you, dear." Let's see. We've seen what can happen to the Penguin. What will Barbara do to Jim now that she's found him? Which, by the way, how did she find him?
Yeah, you kind of had the point too. Where's he living now?
Where is he living? He has never in the show had a house. He's always lived with a girlfriend or in the locker room at the GCPD.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Like, do you think that she is legitimately sane now? Do you think the coma kind of reset her?
No.
Or do you think she's playing another game?
I think it's a game.
You think it's a game?
Yep.
That's fair.
But then again, I thought Penguin was playing a game, and he seemed like he was serious.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Hard to say. I'm sure we'll get much more on that next week. So, I do want to talk a little bit about Hugo Strange's motivations. I really like that they completely nailed the character here because he isn't a character who cares about his reputation, as is stated in the episode. He just wants to try out what he calls interesting things.
Yes!
He's all about experimentation. He's not a villain with a defined master plan. He just likes to experiment, to play. And to see what he can make happen in the world. And obviously, it's going to blow up really soon in the most spectacular way possible.
Yes.
Definitely. Let's see here. Let me check your mic here.
Yeah. Like, it's doing that, but it's not really picking me up. This happened last time.
Here, I'll get it. You talk. I'll go ahead and check the mic.
I'm talking.
No, I mean, just talk about the episode.
Oh, talking about the episode. Oh, okay. I can do that, too. So, what Wynn said in the chat room, that sounds better. I can hear myself now. She said, wasn't apartment 90 Gertrude's? Because the number sounds familiar.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know because it seemed very, very small. It seemed actually to remind me a little bit more of a certain female who's gone off the show, Miss Renee Montoya's apartment. Is what it reminded me of.
That'd be weird if Jim was living in Montoya's apartment.
Absolutely.
You know, when he said he was going to go call for some friends, though, or find a friend to help him with the tape, yes! I totally thought he was going to Montoya and Allen.
That would have been an excellent way to bring it back.
Definitely. But sadly, it was not to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's see. Vivi in the chat room says, does anyone think they have toned down some of the violence this second half of the season? This show seems to have lost some of its goriness.
I
they fed a woman her children.
And then stabbed her repeatedly and left her sitting there with the blood gushing out of her ear. I think we're still good.
At a little dinner party. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Yep. I don't think they've really toned down on the violence at all. Maybe they spread it out a little bit more. But I'm sure someone's going to get an eye poked out somewhere.
Always the eyes. Okay,
you wanted to talk a little bit about Cat Girl, right?
Yes. Okay, Selena's reaction to Bruce telling her that he was staying was completely unwarranted, except that she obviously loves him. Mm-hmm. So when he suggested that he comes to live with her, she was against it. She was completely not all about it. She didn't want him to come, but she let him because she has a soft spot for Bruce. Then he didn't. When he says that he's staying and he's not going back, he didn't cast her out. He didn't shun her or insult her in any way. And unbeknownst to her, this was really a sign of how much he cared for her. Her response is, "You're Bruce Wayne and I'm street trash." No, that was unnecessary and childish.
Yeah, that was little over the top. I actually wrote down in my notes, I think that was more what she's been asking, the question she's been asking herself in her head than anything that Bruce ever indicated to her. Yeah. Like I'm sure she's been just kind of like, why is this rich kid hanging out with me? I'm like, I'm street trash. I've always been street trash. It's probably says more about her self-esteem than it does about Bruce Wayne's manner.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. I don't know how we didn't really put this anywhere. He's enjoying the heck out of himself.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
smiles that he had going on that whole first scene, like it was like a little kid just like running around on the playground. I kind of enjoyed that. It was nice to see somebody happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody's happy.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that whole first sequence in him throwing the money and everything, because he doesn't care about money. He's Bruce Wayne.
I'm Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, going along with that, I really, first of all, there was a big revelation in this episode where that I was not expecting, in that Alfred really likes Selina. Like the reason he's been pushing her out of Bruce's life isn't because he disliked her or didn't trust her. It's because he wanted to protect her. He didn't want her involved in the craziness that they're opening up slowly but surely in pursuit of the Wayne murders.
Then why did he slap her?
I think the slap was just
heard around the world.
just for fun,
that was just some fun.
Because it's fun to slap kids.
It's
Duh.
fun. Duh. Slap the kids.
Yeah, definitely. But I think he was trying to push her away in a way he knew how, kind of thing. But I think in the long run, his constant motivation with pushing Selina out of Bruce's life was more to protect her from the big ball of crazy they're opening up. In this also. When Alfred talks to Bruce about this, it kind of seems like the birth of the justification that Bruce uses to keep anybody from getting too close to him. It isn't about being dishonest. It's not about living a lie. It's about protecting people from the insanity he embraces as the Batman. I just think this and the failure with matches will ultimately keep them from bringing Jim in on their investigation, potentially putting them at odds as the season concludes. Like, I feel like their unwillingness to let anybody else into this...
Their little world.
Yeah, their little world is going to end up, putting them directly opposed to Jim Gordon as we close out the season. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking anyway. What do you think?
I sort of agree. Bobby points out that Alfred said, regardless of my personal feelings towards the girl, because he doesn't like her, but he does admit that Selina's been an extremely loyal and good friend for him.
Yeah.
So, which is why he wants to protect her. Also, she's a child, just like Bruce is a child, teenager, but still child compared to the rest of them. So, I don't think he actually cares about her. He just cares about not having another kid in his charge.
Very true.
He doesn't want to raise a little girl too.
They don't have enough money for hot showers in Wayne Manor. Oh wait, they do. No, but it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses now that Alfred and Bruce have agreed to kind of isolate themselves too in this investigation.
Well, they already had, but then after the emotions of the match's suicide, that Bruce had to pull himself out of it for a bit, but now he's back. Like, he never really stopped that.
Yeah.
I think he just secluded himself with a different person.
Fair
Fair enough.
Okay, so you had some quick bits to close us out?
I did. Okay, so I love that we get a Harvey Dent callback, that he is the one who told Jim that IA records their calls.
Yeah.
So that's a fun tidbit. Also, hey, we're going to get Harvey Dent back anytime soon, guys.
I thought that was kind of a risky thing that Internal Affairs records all the calls that they get. Like, because isn't that like any anonymous tips they would get, that would put the person doing the tipping at serious risk because, like Jim does in this episode, they could go and find him.
Yes, because you could apparently just sneak in a window at the police department. Not at all scary, guys. Bullockisms. Eat my socks. Tighter than a duck's ass. And IA sugar plum. Thank you, Bullock. Thank you for all of those lovely quips.
Yes, definitely.
Stabby Babs. I love the fact that when Hugo Strange asks her, what do you think, caused these healthy changes? I think I just really needed some sleep. You know what?
Understatement of the year.
I think everyone on TV just needs some sleep. And me. I would be such a nicer person if I had some sleep like that. Last, I believe, but certainly not least, Jim promising to call Lee if Barnes gives him the Wayne files. That's a little cold. Like, he's really not concerned with calling Lee. And then when he does call, He doesn't even talk when she answers.
I also thought it was weird that that was what Barnes was asking for. Like, I'll give you these files if you call your girlfriend and make up. Like, Barnes didn't really seem, to be that kind of, or to really care that much for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess.
But I think he liked Lee.
Yeah, he did like Lee.
He liked Lee.
Lee. Okay, so now it's time for our arbitrary scale where we rate the episode on a scale that's completely arbitrary. For this week, let's see here. I'm going to consult my old brain.
Now we're in trouble.
Okay, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
Out of 60 minutes with Harvey Bullock, how many minutes with Harvey Bullock do you give this episode?
I'll give it 52 and a quarter.
52 and a quarter, why?
I'm gonna keep the not comment to myself. No, I think it was good. I think it 52 really? 54. Let's up it to 54. No, I love that we got Penguin back. We got the reveal of the Riddler, basically. I love that Jim cleared his name. It just seemed like a very convenient episode for everything to happen all at once.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just really excited for next week based on previews. So there's that.
Every week gets better. And you guys in the chat room can feel free to weigh in with your arbitrary scales too. As for me, please. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give it 58. Ooh. Because I thought it was really, really strong. Really the only thing I felt was tacked on was the Barbara stuff, like the Stabby Bab stuff. But it just feels so arbitrary because, I mean, we know that Jim's never really going to get back together with her.
But do we?
I mean, I guess I could see it potentially happening.
Yeah.
So I just have to take 2 minutes with Harvey Bullock off for Stabby Babs. Okay. But otherwise, it was a fantastic episode. Babs, and I hope it's not the last we've seen of Ed being a major player in the series this season. Like, I want him to continue to be a major presence for the rest of the season.
I don't think so. Jimbo in the chat room is not playing along properly. He gives it 19 out of 20.
You can't make up your own scale, Jimbo. That doesn't count.
No.
TKD Kid gives it a 59 minutes with Harvey Bullock. It kept me on the edge of my seat all 60 minutes. So good. Very good. Very good. And we'll continue to check in on those as we... Oh, wait. Oh, we have a couple more here.
VV's giving another... No, VV.
Yeah, VV, you can't use your own scale. Sorry. We're not even going to acknowledge that. And Bobby says, sorry, Harvey, it was a great episode, but I'll have to leave 4 minutes early, 56 minutes.
Nice.
But, really 60 minutes with Harvey Bullock, it's a pretty intense time anyway. So, okay, I guess we'll still check in back with you guys. But now, on to the news. News. First up, the ratings. Fox's Gotham fell off a 10th to a 1.2 out of 4. Yeah. So it's down a little bit, but it's been off a week too. Excitement dies down. People forget about it. Plus, I think the penultimate episode of Supergirl was on last week too. So for people who kind of tuned into that show after the Flash crossover. Yeah, but I tuned into that show after the Flash crossover. Maybe they decided to go over there instead, since Supergirl's going to be over soon anyway. Maybe. And catch up with Gotham on DVR.
That happens.
Win in the chat room gives it 50 minutes with Harvey Bullock. Very good, but not as good as some recent ones. And then Jimbo gives it 58 minutes with Harvey Bullock out of 60.
Since we made him stick to our scale.
Excellent. Okay, now they. I don't think we're actually going to talk about
this. This isn't the one that you think it is. This is the actual promo, not that freaky thing. Oh, yeah, Yeah, this is the actual promo.
Yeah, something that if you didn't see it, Gotham released like this weird sort of like an infomercial-y kind of commercial for a facility called Pinewood. And next week's episode is also called Pinewood, and this is the trailer for that week's episode. We have Jim pulling a gun on Babs, her trying to get back in his good graces. The lady returns.
I'm so excited
Missy
for the
from
lady.
Doctor Who.
Yay!
Looks like Jim and Bruce and Alfred are having coffee at that diner.
Yep. Fighting.
some fighting.
Galavan!
Galavan returns. Dun, 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 dun,
Was
dun,
that
dun,
Mr.
dun.
Freeze?
Yeah, Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
All sorts of... The villains get even more wrathy next week on Gotham. And over in the chat room, VV gives it 50 minutes with Harvey Bullock.
Nice.
Excellent to know. Excellent to know. Okay, so let's see here. One other thing I wanted to point out, and this showed up on Cinema Blend just a couple minutes after we ended the episode last week, I think.
Oh, it figures.
But Paul Rubens played a really funny practical joke on the set of Gotham. And I won't open up the story, but we'll have links to the story in the show notes, legendsofgotham.com. But and this is all a quote from Rubens. He says, "I'll tell you, when we were shooting that scene being the death scene of his character, Elijah Van Dahl, I decided I wasn't going to die. The first take of the scene, I just decided I'm not dying. So I drank a sip, and I drank a few more sips, then downed the whole glass and poured another one and said, 'This is delicious.' I just went on, and I looked up trying not to laugh. I told Robin Lord Taylor, what I was doing, so he knew. And the script supervisor and the director were looking at each other in the pages. I don't think they got it. They didn't get that I was joking around. I didn't get the laugh that I thought I would. They were just confused and didn't know what I was doing."
That's hilarious.
I like it because it's very kind of dry humor. But I definitely think that it'll be fun to see that maybe on like the DVDs, like deleted
DVD
scenes
extras,
or something
yes.
like that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Okay, so and this
Yes.
news broke just before we started the episode.
Moments before starting the episode.
Moments. Now this has been the rumor
For a while.
for a while, and the webpage is not available. Oh, I see why.
Yes, it is.
Hold on.
Did I
There we go.
copy something wrong?
No, I just pasted it wrong.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, but it's been the rumor for a while. Ben Affleck has been talking about it, and yet still. Oh, hold on, I think I see. Yeah, but Ben Affleck has been talking about it for a while. But Warner Brothers officially announced today. Oh,
But did it
and
come
the
down?
article's gone.
Really?
Yeah, I wonder if it. I'm looking.
What's that right up the top that had a Batfleck on it?
Yeah, here we go. Ben Affleck is confirmed to direct and star in the solo Batman film. Warner Brothers has announced it. I don't know. Did they have a date in here?
No.
Yeah, so they haven't announced a date yet, but it's definitely going to happen sometime between Justice League Part 1 and Part 2. And guys, please, in the chat room, just leave well enough alone. There's a bit of some bickering going on in there. I hate to see it. Because, we run a friendly chat room,
Yes, please.
Definitely. Okay, so now it's time for some listener feedback. And as always, when you get done watching the episode, what you need to do, the phone is all the way over on that other roof. You need to run. Run. You need to jump before the guy behind you catches you. And when you get to the other side, go to email us legendsofgotham@gmail.com. Tweet us at Legends of Gotham. The Facebook is facebook.com/Legends of Gotham. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And as usual, we're going to start off with Bobby. Take it away, Bobby.
Hey guys, it's Bobby.
Hey.
So this week continues another in a long line of good, if not great, episodes for Gotham. This season has just been hit after hit. I've loved just about every minute of it, with few exceptions, such as Jerome or lack of thereof and whatnot. But we'll just leave that be for now. This episode was great. So much so I can't really even pick out too many great things. I loved Bullock in this episode. I loved me some Bullock, and there was plenty of him in this episode. But beyond that, okay, the whole Enigma / Riddler thing, birth of the Riddler. I think they handled that beautifully, and I can't wait to see what the next step of that is once he actually leaves Arkham or gets out of Arkham or whatever happens. Oh my God, and what they did with Penguin. I'm glad they didn't draw that out. That was just beautiful. I didn't see it coming, but it was great. And then it feels like they're tying up a few different arcs that's been going on with this episode. So it feels like they tied up or are tying up the Bruce and Selena or
Adventure.
Selena training Bruce on the streets
now.
arc. They're tying up the Von Dahl family, and they're tying up fugitive Jim Gordon, so that it feels like they're finally getting ready to bring us into full throttle Indian Hill, and I can't wait for it. The previews look great. Like I said, this was just a really great episode, but it's just par for the course with this show so far. So on a scale of 3,567 pieces of flying stolen cash, I will give it 3,543. Of course, there's room to grow. But this was just a great episode that did a good job of tying up some loose ends and bringing us into what's looking to be a great story arc with Stabby Babs and Indian Hill.
Thank you very much, Bobby. And it also brought in some people into your kitchen, it sounded like.
Yes,
there at the
like
end.
everybody came in to say hello.
But thank you very much, Bobby. And next up, we have Joel from Portland. Take it away, Joel.
Hey, Bill and Anne-Marie.
Hey!
It's Joel from Portland. That was a fantastic episode. All the storylines got complete. I found myself writing down notes wondering, is Penguin ever going to get back at Grace for calling his mom a slut of a mother? And if it's a line in the sand, if Ed gets caught, or if Jim goes back to the force, does that mean that Ed is going to go to jail? And they solved all those problems all in one. And yes, Cinderella, or not Cinderella, but Oswald did get his revenge, and it is a dish best served
I'm
overcooked.
curious about the Cinderella.
Pangarelli,
slip there.
Pangarelli.
Ah! Gus.
Pangarelli, Pangarelli.
I was always wondering when he was going to break away from Strange's programming, and I'm glad to see that he's back. Let's see what else. Oh, I like that. This is a Robin Hood Bruce. Now he's robbing from the mob and giving it to people in alleyways.
I like
So
that.
I love that.
Oh, I thought it was weird that the GCPD is just going to let Jim come back to work. They're just going to
Me too.
completely ignore the
Yeah.
fact that he broke out of prison and that warden's not going to come after him. That doesn't really make any sense.
And he punched a cop.
He did punch a cop.
But it's also nice to see Alfred stick his neck out for Selena now that she is just kind of like a tool, and maybe he's realizing that, but she was the real victim in this episode. That and the Doberman who ate the poison. But anyways,
Oh, poor
interested to hear you guys'
puppy.
thoughts. Until next time, I am your IA Sugar Mama.
Woohoo!
Nice. Thank you very much, Joel. Okay, we have some letters to wrap up here with. The first one is from Mark, and Mark says, Hi, while I love Gotham, this was my first time listening to your show, and that was mainly to hear Derby Kid talk about Batman v Superman. This is concerning our Batman v Superman special. Rest assured, after listening, I quickly grew to love your podcast.
Yay!
Without getting into a detailed discussion of the movie, I did hear two things on your show that I wanted to address. First, to go to the very end of the show, Superman did bleed. Batman scratched his face with the spear just before the Save Martha scene. He kept the scar until he healed from the nuclear explosion. Second, if you think that Wonder Woman is in any way an anti-hero, you have been badly misserved. Diana's character might be the worst thing in the DCAU, or the worst thing the DCAU got wrong when they limited her to being a warrior. I suggest looking at the post-crisis George Perez reboot comics, or even the first season of the Linda Carter series if you can overlook the lame plots and concentrate on the heart of the character.
Don't worry, Bill likes lame plots.
Well, I was going to say, it's funny that he mentions both of those, because in a DC movie special that we did with Derby Kid, Rebecca Johnson, a couple months back, I brought up this argument against Wonder Woman that I have, that she's often portrayed as an anti-hero, but I admitted in the conversation that there were two versions of the character I liked.
And there was these two.
One being the post-crisis George Perez run on the character, and the second being the Linda Carter series. Not just the first season, but the entire thing.
The fact that you've seen all that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I used to watch it on FX.
Freak.
But let's see. She's a lot more than an anti-hero, and I think Gail and Gal and Patty Jenkins have a good handle on her. Having said that, I really enjoyed your show. I am very glad to hear some positivity around the movie, and I might keep listening in the future.
Well, we hope
Best
you do.
regards, Mark. Yeah, hopefully you heard us
Hopefully
read
you're
your letter.
hearing us read your letter.
Definitely.
Let's see.
Someone else wanted to talk to us a little bit about the the old Batman v
Yes,
Superman special, right?
This was a comment over on YouTube. It's the one Gallon, but not Gallon, if you know what I mean. My gosh, it's nice to hear people who agree with me on this movie. So apparently they liked it because we're like the only people on the internet who seem to like it.
Nice. Okay, and this last letter is from Sorry, and this is in reference to our episode title
Yes.
from a couple weeks ago, Asexual Penguin, actually.
Yes.
It says, hello, I just recently discovered your podcast like 3 episodes ago, but I've been enjoying it so far. However, a specific discussion in the latest one made me a little frustrated. I'm asexual, so when I saw the title Asexual Penguin on my podcast player, I got a little hesitant since there's so much information out there, and I didn't know how you guys would approach this. While in general I wasn't upset by it, I'm actually really happy to see speculation about Oswald being I guess that's short for asexual, outside of Tumblr. There were a couple of stereotypes that bugged me. The first was how you automatically went down the sexual abuse route. While some asexuals have been sexually abused and cite that abuse as part of their asexual identity, most of us haven't, including me. You know, I will say to that we weren't really saying, okay, he's asexual, so there must have been abuse. We were going with the theory, or, you know, there's a lot of strong evidence that he was abused in the show, and we were saying, well, maybe that's part of the whole thing.
Right.
You know, maybe if he is asexual, maybe that's part of it. We weren't saying he's asexual, so he must have been abused. Just to be clear. Asexuality is simply not experiencing sexual attraction. Life experiences may or may not affect that, but that's an individual thing. The assumption that you must have been abused to be asexual is very frustrating for a lot of aces. While whether or not Oswald has been abused in the past is a discussion in and of itself, I'm uncomfortable with it being linked with asexuality like that without it having been made clear that the two aren't necessarily linked. Fair point.
That's fair.
Fair point. And yeah, I just wanted to stress that, you know, we weren't making that
we weren't making
that
any sort
jump.
of
We were just saying, oh, that might be part of it. You know,
could be. It's a possibility.
If he is, maybe. You know, so the other thing was the way that asexuality was discussed. I got the impression that you were conflating it with a romanticism. A romanticism. The notion of romance popped up quite a bit, yet the possibility of Oswald being aromantic, in addition to being asexual, was never mentioned, which gave me the impression that the word asexual was being used to mean lack of romantic attraction as well as lack of sexual attraction, when that is not what it means. Asexuality has nothing to do with romantic inclination. Some asexuals are aromantic. Others are not. Just like some aromantics are asexual and others aren't. The romantic and sexual spectrum are two very separate things for a lot of us. I myself am biromantic as well as being asexual. Yeah, and I think we were just saying that maybe, you know, I think we were basically saying that we thought that Penguin might be asexual and aromantic. Aromantic, however you say it.
Yes.
Sorry, I read it several times, but I've never said it. So, yeah. But I think that's basically what we were saying. That it was probably both. That he is so on his own path that he doesn't have time for either.
Well, he's never in any way, shape, or form shown any sort of attraction towards anyone except for his mother, kind of.
Yeah,
not really a romance.
And you know, we say this a lot
digging my hole.
We say this a lot
Sorry.
jokingly, but a little bit like there's been a little bit of that feeling with Jim too. But I think that might just be more he looks up to him. Or he realizes how much power he could have with Jim on his side.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point this out. Other than that, I'm happy that this is being discussed, especially since Gotham has quite a few ace fans, and I actually discovered the asexual spectrum via an Oswald headcanon. I was also happy to hear you guys say that it would be okay if Oswald is indeed ace. Thank you for saying that. I'm looking forward to hearing more episodes. Sorry?
Suri?
Yeah, and Villa Gomez. And thank you very much for writing in. Yeah.
We don't aim to, you know, offend anyone in any way, shape, or form. We just.
Oh yeah, and I definitely think I definitely think they got that here at the end of the letter. They realized that we were cool, but they just wanted to use it as an opportunity to kind of like point out the difference and say, you know, what, you know, certain asexual people may or may not find offensive, which is totally fair. totally fair. And yeah, I kind of had a feeling that when I named the episode that we might get a letter, and we did, and it was a great letter.
It was a very well written, which is really appreciative that it wasn't attacky.
Yeah,
that's what I appreciate.
And if you want to send us a great letter, first jump off a roof.
Hey, that's as bad as stealing babies and slapping teenagers.
Jump off a roof with the baby. Oh. Land on the other roof. There's a computer over there. Email us, legendsofgotham@gmail.com. Tweet us at Legends of Gotham. Facebook is facebook.com/Legends of Gotham. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. Now, Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone, or you can check out my newly resurrected blog, crunchycrafty.com.
And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all of the podcasts we do at universebox.com. And as I said, I wrote a TV pilot. I'm looking for some beta readers. Yep. If you want to check it out, email me, bill@universebox.com, and I'll send you a copy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess that about does it for this week. We want to thank our chat room, who gathers here every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. EST at live.universebox.com. Hopefully we'll have a little less... good drama in the future in there. There was a little bit of drama tonight. If we sounded a little distracted, that's why. That was why. But we want to thank everyone for joining us. We love you guys. We will see you all next week in Gotham. Hey, join us next time for more Legends of Gotham. Legends of Gotham.
Thank you for joining us.
One day we'll get that right.
Never.
You don't think?
Nah, we ain't good at that.
I got money for burgers. Van Dahl burgers with hollandaise sauce. That was pretty fun.
That was fun. I like it. I'm glad you play that now live.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me happy.
Okay, so give me 1 second here. We'll have some title options for you guys to choose from. There weren't many. I didn't write many down. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. I got to get this all uploaded to here so I can zoom in on it. Open image in new tab. Okay, these are the choices. We have Titus Van Dahlicus, the Van Dahl Roast, Bruce Wayne's Manor, and Van Dahl Burgers.
Bruce Wayne's Manor.
Because I said that at some time.
Yeah, you did.
But those are the titles. Please vote in the chat room, and we'll pick the one that gets the most votes.
Of course.
Because I like all of them.
I do too.
I would take any of these. I think our listeners would too. Yeah, and just a general thing to anyone who's still hanging out in the chat room who might have been involved with that, like trolls can be trolly. If you call them trolls, they get trollier. That's all I'm gonna say. All in love. Let's see here. We'll wait a minute or two more for some votes here. Waiting on it. Titus Van Dahlicus. I kind of like that one too.
Titus Van Dahlicus.
Titus. Van Dahl Roast is genius. Van Dahl Burgers. But okay, so I think out of the people we have left here, we got the 2 for Titus Van Dahlicus. So I think...
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I didn't see that.
Win and Bobby. So I think we'll go ahead and go with that one. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll be back next week.
Thank you for joining us.
Can't wait to talk to you then. Bye.